What's good, YouTube? Quasar here. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys my Cyber Dragon deck profile for the December 2017 format. So let me just jump right into it. And also I want to let you guys know that this profile is the going second OTK version. I opted to play that version instead of the control variant because I find it to be a lot more potent in this meta, and also I just find it gears more towards my play style. But if you are also interested in seeing a more control variant, I can also build that for you. Just make sure you slap that like button and comment and subscribe. So anyways, let's just jump into it. 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. Very simple, very standard. If you're not playing 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, you're obviously not playing the deck. 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. This guy's really awesome just because when he's normal or special summoned, you get to add any Cyber spell or trap from your deck to your hand, so that's really good. And also he has another effect where if he's in the grave and your opponent controls a monster, you can banish it to special summon one Cyber Dragon from your deck. You can only use one or the other effect per turn, so just keep that in mind. But he's also really cool. He's treated as Cyber Dragon while on the field, so a machine dupe target to bring out 2 more copies of your actual Cyber Dragon. Really awesome. I'm sure everyone knows that combo. This deck has been out for time, but anyways, again, 3 copies of this, absolutely standard. I also play 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, another level 5 light machine, so works perfectly with the Cyber Dragon theme. Really easy to special summon by discarding a light monster. You special summon it in defense mode and then it searches you another Galaxy Soldier. So essentially it'll net you a free rank 5. Usually you're just overlaying into Nova and then Infinity, of course. But yeah, 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. I play the 1 copy of Gofu that you're allowed, so yeah, I think like everyone has to be playing Gofu now because it's a free decode talker essentially. And I am playing the Kaijus, so I will just drop them all for you. Gamma Seal, Doggerand, and 2 Jizzy Kiru, because the Jizzy Kiru are actually light machine type monsters as well. So again, they fit with the theme. So this works perfectly. If you have the Jizzy Kiru, you can special summon it onto your opponent's side of the field, tributing off something. And then, of course, you can use your Cyber Dragon to contact fuse with it. So that's just another easy way to get rid of a 33 beater that you gave them. And yeah, with Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, you're actually usually giving them this guy just because you have that combo. And you play the Doggerand just because he's still a 3k beater that you'd want to summon to your side of the field. But yeah, I think this is the perfect number right here. But if you want to test the ratios, feel free to. And then after that, I'm just playing like a simple hand trap lineup. So 1 Maxi and 2 copies of Ash. Keep it really simple, keep it really straightforward. I opted not to play Dre because his effect only allows you to special summon machine type monsters. And sometimes that might actually hinder you from pulling off a more massive combo. So with what I have has been working out perfectly, and I think this monster lineup works so well for going second. I'm only playing 2 Ash. I know everyone nowadays plays 3, but I don't want to be opening multiple copies, yet I do still want to see it. So I think 2 is a good number. Ashing your opponent at the right time can stop them dead in their tracks, making it a lot easier to go for that OTK. Now, moving on to the spells. 3 copies of Cyber Repair Plant. I know I have the 1 holo, 2 commons. I actually did get this deck mostly from the Dragons of Legends box. So it is actually really cheap. You pay 30 bucks, pick up 3 different decks. Yeah, you do need to add other cards, but most of the deck is there for you. So I do highly recommend it if you do want to build like a budget version of Cyber Dragons. My deck is mostly budget friendly. I mean, aside from those ashes I just showed you, but yeah, there are also a few other cards that might be a little bit out of someone's price range, but you can always just play around with it and play other cards. But yeah, 3 copies of Cyber Repair Plant. If you don't know what this does, if you have a Cyber Dragon in your grave, you get to pick one of these effects. You get to add either 1 light machine type monster from your deck to your hand, or you get to target 1 light machine monster in your grave and shuffle it back into the deck. If you have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, though, you get to activate both effects in that order. And also remember that Core does treat itself as Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, so that will count towards your Cyber Repair Plant. Beautiful thing is, you don't have to just search your Cyber Dragons. Again, you get to search your Jizukiru. He is a light machine type monster. Same with Galaxy Soldier. So you have options. Definitely play this card at 3. Next, I play 3 copies of Machine Duplication. I know a lot of people with this version play only 2 copies, and I don't know why. I always see Machine Dupe at the perfect time, and I would never play less than 3. I think 3 is optimal. You want to be seeing this card. This card definitely pops off a lot of your combos, so 3 is a standard when it comes to Machine Dupe. I also play 3 copies of Power Bond. Really awesome card. You want to be seeing this too because you can essentially drop like your 8,000 Cyber End Dragon, which does piercing, so he's really easy for OTKs. You don't really play a lot of things that you want to be using fusion cards for, but I still do play it. You definitely have the option to go into those monsters, and it's always nice to have them get pumped up with even more attack. Speaking of more attack, I also do play the limiter removal, of course, has to be played. It is the OTK version, and you want to be pumping up their attack. I also play only 1 copy of Overload Fusion. I actually like it at 1. I find it works perfectly just because this is kind of like a late game card, but you do end up in situations where you can pull this card off quite nicely and then just continue on with more plays. So yeah, I do definitely like the Overload Fusion as an option to just continue on your plays. The only reason I play it at 1 is because it can be bricky if you don't have the right options, the right grave setup. So I think 1 is the perfect number. And also for more fusion options, I do play Ultra Polymerization. This card is really amazing when you have a Link monster on your field. You can definitely just fusion summon into something like Cyber Twin Dragon, bring back both of your Cyber Dragons that were used, overlay them, go into Nova and Infinity, so you get like a double whammy just for your 2,000. Your opponent can't activate anything in response to this card's activation, so that is really amazing there. I just like having a lot of different options that you can play with this deck. 3 copies of Pot. Because you're going second, you want to be finding your combo pieces. You play a lot of 3-ofs as you saw, so definitely have to play 3 copies of this card just to dig into other things that you would want to see. One copy of Mind Control. Again, as I said, we're going second, so your opponent most likely will have a monster on their side of the field. It's nice to just steal it, use it as link material, nothing wrong with that. You're not tributing it off, you're not attacking with it, but yeah, linking off with it is perfect. Or if they somehow have like a level 5, you can always just overlay with it. So there are different options there, but yeah, usually you want to just steal your opponent's monster and link it off into whatever link monster you find necessary. 2 copies of Twin Twister. You want to be getting rid of their back row first thing because you don't want it to hinder your OTK. Yeah, nothing more to say about that. And then your wipeout brigade would be Slumber, Dark Hole, and Raigeki. So I think 1 copy of each is perfect. You want to be clearing out their field, and that way you can push for a lot easier OTKs. And for the last card, I do play the 1 copy of Upstart just to make it a 39 card deck, make it more consistent. And even 9,000 life points is nothing for this deck to get over. Now, moving on, we have the extra deck. Mega Fleet is a really nice addition, but I think they should have added another effect. I really like the fact that you can use both of the extra deck monsters. You can also just use your opponent's extra deck if you have a link monster that you can summon this guy to. So that's really cool. And then of course he just gains 1200 for each material used. And also, yeah, no poly necessary. He's just a contact fusion. So that's really nice, but an additional effect would have made this guy a lot more broken. Chimera Tech is another just contact fusion target. Not much more to say about him, just gotta be played. Chimera Tech Rampage, I honestly don't often go into him, but I think there are sometimes situations where he might be necessary, so good to at least have him. And then Chimera Tech Overdragon, sort of the same thing. Like, usually you do that for, what's it called? The Overload Fusion target, right? But, yeah, like, he's just a one-of. He makes it pretty easy to, OTK as well. So, yeah, just 1 copy of him. Cyber Twin and Cyber End are kind of like self-explanatory as well. And then moving on, we have the Xyz. We obviously have your 1 copy of Infinity, your 1 copy of Nova, and also just because pretty much everything in this deck is light and level 5, Pleiades is a really easy target to go into. Sometimes you might want to just go into him. You can kaiju something, bounce that kaiju back, kaiju something else, you know, like, yeah, it's kind of a waste potentially, but he's not too bad in some situations. I definitely like having him in the extra deck just as an option. And then of course for links, yeah, we have the 2 link spider. Basically once you use your GoFu tokens, you get to drop these 2, and then from there you can go with those 2 and your GoFu into Decode. We also have Proxy Dragon. We have Akashic Magician. Really good, actually. Also another way to like bounce back kaijus potentially. Your 1 Decode Talker, again, basically gets summoned for free if you use GoFu. And the very last link monster is the 1 copy of Firewall, just because he is really broken and can still be pretty easy to summon if you have GoFu and Mind Control. Essentially, you go into your Decode via go through, mind control, whatever, use the D code, go into firewall, continue off your combo from there. But anyways, guys, this has been my Cyber Dragon deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.